Well, police brutality continues to be a cause for concern in the country. The 3 police officers charged with the murder of Nathaniel Julies are expected to appear in the High Court in Johannesburg today. If you'll remember, the 16-year-old was shot dead last year, a few meters from his home in Eldorado Park. Well, eNCA's Aviwe Mtila has been watching that case for us, and let's find out from him what we can expect this morning. Aviwe, good morning. And it is a pre-trial hearing or proceedings. What exactly is expected to happen today?
Well, Iveka, the South Gauteng High Court is expected to hear the state of readiness of this matter from both the state as well as the defense lawyers. In fact, I've had a conversation just moments ago with one of the defense lawyers who told me that they still haven't received the docket for this particular matter. So we're expecting that the state will then present that docket. In conversation with the state, even in court, they did mention that they're ready. Hence, the matter now has been transferred from the Protea Magistrate Court right here to the South Gauteng High Court. It's been around 8 months now, Iveka, and in fact today we're just expecting them to iron out the issues, in fact whether they agree on certain issues which will then make the trial, will shorten the process of the trial. If they agree on particular issues, then witnesses that would corroborate that won't need to be called in. But today is just a pre-trial hearing just to assess the state of readiness of this matter for it to be at the South Gauteng High Court.
All right, well, just remind us then, Aviwe, like you say, it's been a good couple of months since this tragedy happened. And like we say, police brutality has been in the spotlight again. So just bring us up to speed on what has happened so far and what's been said about what police allegedly did that day or that night.
Yes, it happened on the 26th of August last year, and the 3 policemen, 2 of them are in custody. Accused number 1, Simon Scorpion Jalivana, as well as accused number 2, Kayleen Whiteboy, the 23-year-old female police officer. Accused number 3 was released on bail last year after the magistrate found that the matter was near finality in terms of the state and the investigations, deeming that Foster Nechangola, accused number 3, won't interfere with the processing, that there was only 2 weeks left, and he had presented an alternative address. But we do understand that accused number 2 is the one that's being charged with pulling the trigger on the day. The charges are around murder, the unlawful possession of ammunition, defeating the ends of justice, as well as a perjury charge for accused number 2, Kayleen Whiteboy, the officer who pulled the trigger on the day. She admitted in the pre-trial hearing that she did in fact pull that trigger, but she wasn't aware that it was live ammunition that was there. She thought that it was rubber bullets, we do understand, as they'd had similar incidents earlier on in the day where she fired with that same shotgun, but it was rubber bullets that were at play. She then says that she was instructed by accused number 1 when Nathaniel Julies was shot to fire that very same shotgun, but then she says that it was now loaded with live ammunition, and she wasn't aware that that ammunition had been changed from rubber bullets to live ammunition. Foster Nechangola, accused number 3, comes in later on, only when Nathaniel Julies was taken at Baragwanath Hospital. That's where Foster was called in. He was off sick on the day, off-duty police officer who came in, and we understand from the pre-trial hearing he was given 2 live bullet cartridges ammunition, almost to set the scene to seem as if there was some sort of gang-related violence that led to the murder of Nathaniel Julies. All of this, of course, was delved out in the pre-trial hearing, and we'll hear exactly what happened once the trial commences inside the Gauteng High Court.
Well, I think just clarify for us, what was the context of this actual incident? Like you say, you know, like police say, they are sort of busy dealing with gang-related activity in the area as well. But our understanding, if I remember correctly at the time, Nathaniel Julies had gone to the shops. I think that's what the story was, and the police had been trying to talk to him and ask him who he was and where he was going, and that happened. Not that there was some kind of protest or mob activity or something like that. That's what we understand from what we heard at the time. What is it that you've heard from the family side and you remember from that time, from that day?
Yes, you'll hear a lot of stories on the ground, Rebecca, just on the events that unfolded on the day. But if you speak to the community, they'll tell you that this is one of many incidences that the police often get away with. I remember even in the funeral of Nathaniel Julies, one of the keynote addresses saying that it was good that Nathaniel Julies had Down syndrome. It's unfortunate for the family, but it was good this time around so that it could be cleared out that it wasn't any gang-related violence that the police can then point on, because he was a 16-year-old teen with Down syndrome, and we understand on the day of the murder he was just oblivious to the lights, the flashing lights of the police, and he often came nearby the truck where they were situated nearby. There are also a number of questions as to what the police were doing at that particular truck where Nathaniel Julies eventually lost his life, eventually shot by those police. There are a number of questions as to what were they doing there. Some of the community members will tell you that there were dodgy dealings that were done over there. All of that, of course, is still allegations at this stage and will be ventilated out inside court, but it's unclear. But what's clear, though, is that Nathaniel Julies wasn't involved in any form of gang-related violence. He was a 16-year-old teenager with Down syndrome, so there was no way that he was involved in any of that sort. Hence, the police are charged with the possession of illegal ammunition, as well as just defeating the ends of justice by tampering with the crime scene itself to make it seem like there was some sort of gang-related violence.
Well, let's just hope there is some justice for this young life cut short at that point. Thanks very much, Aviwe Mtila. He'll keep us updated on that case. Well,